The finals are all wrapped up, so it's time for a special post-finals, way too early edition of the friendliest segment in all of sports, King of the Hill.
45 guys.
Okay.
9 levels.
Are you serious?
Did you not look in the doc?
You've just like
It's 45 guys. I told you I'm putting in that
putting
OT.
overtime.
Putting in that OT.
45 guys.
Now, I do want to explain one thing to the audience, because red means they moved down, green means they moved up.
Yeah.
The template for that was 1 year ago this week, we did a post-2025 finals King of the Hill.
Okay.
So if you've
based
moved
on
up or
last
down
year.
based on where we were 1 year ago today. Additional note, Tatum, Halliburton were off that hill because they had the blown Achilles, so they're up just by virtue of being back on the hill, if that makes sense. All right, 9th row, all these guys dropped. LaMelo Ball, his stock dropped this season, in my opinion. Maybe you disagree. Şengün dropped a lot. Embiid, I don't know what we're going to do about the health. Harden, rough playoffs. Trae Young, what percent of NBA fans right now know definitively what team Trae Young is on? I'm not sure. Jimmy Butler got hurt. Siakam's team was terrible. I kind of felt bad. What percent of NBA fans know what team Triple J is on right now? We're in the single digits on that one. Gobert could have stayed on level 8.
He could have moved up,
Yeah, he
too.
could have. Like, Gobert was a tough one. I want to make sure he made the hill. 8th row, all these guys moved up but one. Dylan Harper, Steph Castle, welcome to the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Little projection, but was so impressed by their playoff runs as a whole. Dylan Harper in the finals. Castle had a rough efficiency finals, particularly Game 5. We didn't even talk about it, 1 of 10 from the field. But I think future Harper, potential superstar, Castle, future star. Denny Avdia, awesome season. Jalen Duren, rough postseason. But again, a great season to where he moved up from where he was at this time last year. Scotty Barnes had a really good year. Jalen Johnson got his team to the playoffs. Austin Reeves about to get a $200 million contract. And J-Dub, Jalen Williams dropped significantly just because the injuries, it's now multiple years of like some level of injury concern. 7th row, is Anthony Davis ever going to play for the Wizards? My money would be no.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's traded. I think he is traded this offseason. I don't think he's going to line up with the Debanza timeline.
I mean, that's a fair.
No,
that's totally fair.
Yeah, I think Trae also might get traded. OG, welcome to this segment of the hill. Maybe could be higher. Jamal Murray, Bam, despite the 82 points, stay where they are. Evan Mobley dips just a bit. Kyrie, welcome back after injury. Expect him to be, he's going to be 18 some months removed from the injury. Chet, dips just a bit? Is that too much Wemby-based, reactionism? I don't know. He did have a really good year. I debated on that one. That's another one where if he just had lost, they lost round 2 to the Lakers. No one killing Chet. Row 6, Kawhi had an awesome regular season. His team did not, and he drops a tiny bit. KD had, I don't know how to discuss KD's season other than the fact that he was the best player on a team that he ruined with the burner scandal, in my opinion. And then wasn't available for the playoffs. So Devin Booker stays where he is. Paolo, I think I think it's fair to say, disappointing regular season from the Magic and from Paolo. Drops a tiny bit. Maxey, on the other hand, I thought, one of the big winners of this regular season. And Cooper Flagg, yes, this is some projection. I'm okay with the projection. I think Cooper Flagg absolutely expects to be a top 20 player in the league next year. This is spot 16 to 21. Top 15, Donovan stays where he is. Welcome back, Tyrese Halliburton.
Nice.
I got to have him in the top 15. You make the finals with him, the conference finals the year before, you lose and you have the worst record in basketball. Karl Anthony Towns. This might be his highest spot ever on a full league King of the Hill. Because I don't think we've ever looked at him as a top 10 guy. It's top 10 guys above that. Bron and Steph round out your top 15. Now to the top 10. Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, welcome back. Jaylen Brown and Cade Cunningham. All those guys except for Tatum had awesome regular seasons. Ants, Ant's postseason injuries concerned me a bit this year. The runner's knee thing was just weird. Obviously, he then came back from what looked like a gruesome knee injury, but it's the second time where it doesn't feel like he has finished the season at 100% in the last 3 years. Top 6, SGA. He was 1 year ago this week at the top of the hill. He obviously is not that. Luka stays where he was, and Giannis, another kind of lost season is the only way to put it. He drops a bit. Joker, oh, you know what? I'm wrong. SGA was not at the top of the hill. SGA was row 2, even though he won the championship last year. Because I had Joker at the top of the hill, Joker is in row 2, if we can reveal it. Joker drops a bit, and Wemby, again, from where this time last year, I don't think he was in the top 20 because he had just, certainly wasn't in the top 15. He had the blood clot, he had missed time. He now is somewhere in your top 5, somewhere from 1 through 5. I bet different people would have different rankings. But atop the hill, coming off his finals MVP, and after kind of, like, if you look at how not just how their teams did, but how they individually played as their season ended. Joker didn't have a great series and lost in round 1. Wemby had an awesome playoffs and then I think a really rough NBA finals. SGA had the worst series of his career as a star in the conference finals. And then Luka and Giannis were injured and not available. Jalen Brunson.
It's great.
Is for the first time ever atop a full league, not just playoff edition of King of the Hill.
Not the best player in the league, but perfect King of the Hill.
Are you saying he's the best player in the league?
That title is vacant.
He's King of the Hill. Not called best player in the league.
I am saying he's King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
I got no problem with Jalen being King of the Hill right now. It's the least we can do for him and you can do for him. But look, to me, I know what the rule is, but neither you nor I believe the rule.
What's the rule?
That it's not left to right.
Oh, it's not.
So you put Jokic on that side of Wemby for a reason. So I'm going to switch those two. In fact, I'm going to switch SGA and Jokic. So I'm going to move Wemby over 1 and then put SGA next to Wemby and Jokic in row 3. And here's why. Jokic is obviously phenomenal, but he hasn't been past the second round of the playoffs in the last 3 years. Not since they won the championship. This year they got bounced unceremoniously in 5 by a 6 seed. I get it was Minnesota, a good team, but still, by a 6 seed with home court advantage. And his defense has gotten significantly worse.
5? I thought they lost in 6, but
I
maybe I'm
believe it
wrong.
was 5.
I could just be misremembering. Doesn't matter.
Check that, Josh.
Yeah.
But his defense also has gotten significantly worse this year than it was in the past. So, and SGA, I get it. Our last view of him against, Stephon Castle was a tough one. But he did lead. They ran through the first 2 rounds without their second best player, Jalen Williams, and then took, San Antonio to 7.
Can I respond to each of those? I do think that SGA gets a little additional ding because Brunson did solve Castle and the Spurs defense. Like it was going into the finals.
Top the hill.
Right, no, exactly. Like going into the finals, a lot of people thought, look what they did to Shea, they'll do it to Brunson.
Right.
I want to ask you one thing about the Jokic-Wemby thing. After seeing what Wemby how he struggled getting to a spot on the inside and dealing with the Knicks' physicality, that does make me a touch more pessimistic about how he would have fared in a 7-game series with Jokic banging on him. Like that, just the wearing on him, because Joker, to his credit, doesn't get tired. Plays these huge minutes, and maybe it's because he never jumps. But he's, that does, because I know you were worried, I think, about that potential matchup when we thought we were going to get Denver, San Antonio. We never saw it. That is...
I think Wemby would have had an easier time offensively against Jokic.
Oh, definitely.
Because even that game where Jokic outplayed him slightly.
He had like 30-something.
Both of them, yeah. So I think that would have happened.
Yeah.
I also, when
Bonus take?
Bonus take.
Bonus take.
Switch Ant and Luka.
I don't even think that's his bonus take. That's his real take. They have a whole graphics ready.
Well,
Bruce.
That was just a preamble.
I know what my real. In the docket, I put move Wemby and Jokic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna look. Luka's just the injuries, and I get it. You could say it for Giannis too, but Luka didn't play in the playoffs this year. Last year or 2 years ago, went out in 5. Has had trouble staying healthy with his conditioning and everything. So I'm just gonna move Ant.
If I'm gonna move Ant up, it's Giannis's. I can't do Luka gets dinged for getting hurt at the end of the year after being a leading MVP candidate, winning multiple Players of the Month, and Giannis, who dealt with more injuries. So that was my struggle. Is am I really gonna have Giannis outside of the top 6? That didn't feel right to me, but I don't think Luka's injuries should ding him more this year than Giannis's, and I thought Luka was exceptional this season, and then got hurt at the worst possible time. I mean, the team had a good record. He contributed to winning. They had a good record.
I've been a little down.
You're a little down on Luka.
I just think it's hard to build around.
Yeah.
So we'll see this year.
Sometimes in business, you just need to sort of ride the trends. And stick with your product. Like if I had like a protein-based, sunscreen. Like what is it?
Protein-based.
Yeah, you'd be like, I put protein in a sunscreen. You put it on you and you get protein. You'd be like, what is that? And then 5 years goes by and protein's all the rage, and next thing you know, I sell my protein-based sunscreen because protein's the rage. That's the wave that you ride.
I think there might have been a better example available.
Protein-based Skittles. Protein's hot right now.
Yeah, if you ate Skittles with protein in them, you would get protein, right?
Bingo.
Yeah, good call, bro.
Here's the wave that's happening right now. If I was sitting back and saying, hold on a second, my dad was also a journeyman pro, and I grew up around the league. I'm an undersized Dallas Maverick who might get traded. I'm NBA champion with a penchant for scoring 40 in the finals, even though I'm a defensive liability. But I specialize in footwork, mid-range, and just getting buckets, finishing at the rim. Kyrie Irving, riding the Jalen Brunson wave a little bit. Now, hey, being undersized
His
and scoring
godfather
40.
was in the NBA, right?
Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland.
Yes, his dad wasn't.
But he was in the street.
Dad played overseas.
His dad played overseas in Australia.
Yeah.
So Kyrie might be rooting for the Australian team. Kyrie. I got Kyrie fever from watching a recent little miniature viral video of it was a high school camp, granted, but it was a can you stop Kyrie challenge. The answer is nobody can stop Kyrie. High school kids, pros. So the question is this. Jason Kidd's out. Masai Ujiri's in as GM. Again, we talk about DeBonce's timeline. Is Kyrie lined up with Cooper Flagg's timeline, or is this going to be there's some Wolves talk with Kyrie, there's some Pistons talks, Pistons need a certified bucket on that squad so Cade doesn't have to score 80% of the team's points. Do you think Kyrie is going to be on the Mavs, or could you see him with the Wolves? Or
I like him as a wild card trade piece, I'll tell you that much. And the Wolves thing is really interesting.
That is.
You just plug him right, because whenever Dante's ready, it's not going to be game 1, and we shouldn't assume everyone's going to have Tatum's timeline, so he might just be out for the whole year. So he plugs in right there. You have the defensive personnel already to where you can deal with Kyrie's negatives there. It would take a huge burden off of Ant. I like that a lot. I hadn't thought about that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, great idea.
And I think Kyrie has really, really remade his
he's been a great
maturity
leader.
image since he's gotten to Dallas in a really positive way.